Okay, under purchasing and tabulation of bids category, items 6 and 6A have been removed for separate consideration. Is there a motion on the balance?
Move.
Second.
I'm moving to a vote. Favoring, opposed, items carried.
Okay, under the ordinances category, since your list was distributed, item 18 has been removed for separate consideration. If you'd like to make that notation. Items 8 through 12, 14 through 16, 18, 19, and 22 have been removed for separate consideration. This is the ordinance category.
Moving to a vote on the balance. Favoring, opposed, items carried.
Items removed for separate consideration. Item 4, is there a motion?
Move.
Is there a second? Discussion? Favoring, opposed, item carries. It was Councilmember Noriega who made the second.
Okay, item 6 is an ordinance, just need to vote.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed, item carries.
6A, is there a motion?
Move.
Second.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed, item carries.
Item 8 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed, item carries.
Item 9 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed,
No.
item carries. Councilmember Brown voting no.
Item 10 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed,
No.
item carries. Councilmember Brown voting no.
Item 11 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed,
No.
item carries. Councilmember Brown voting no.
Item 12 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed,
No.
item carries. Councilmember Brown voting no.
Item 14 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed,
No.
item carries.
No.
Councilmember Brown voting no, and Councilmember Burks?
No, wrong vote,
No,
wrong vote, wrong
A little
vote.
surprised. Okay, Councilmember Brown voting no.
Wrong vote.
Okay, item 15 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed, item carries. Councilmember Brown voting no. I'm sorry, Councilmember.
Yeah, okay, well, I was gonna make a comment beforehand. Yeah, I'm not in support of having our minors participate in these type of sting operations, so my vote is no.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Item 16 is an ordinance.
Discussion?
Did you say item 16?
16, 1-6.
Tag, please.
Item 16 has been tagged.
Item 18 is an ordinance.
Item 18 has been tagged by Councilmember Noriega.
Item 19 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed, item carries.
Item 22 is an ordinance.
Discussion? Favoring, opposed, item carries.
That completes the consent agenda under matters held. Item 34 with the matters held. Is there a motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion, Councilmember Costello.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I'm going to support this item as since St. Stephen's followed the procedure that's on the books currently for the alcohol-free zone. My problem is not necessarily with St. Stephen's per se, but my problem is with our current ordinance and as we are applying it citywide on every issue. And particularly as it's found in Chapter 3 of our Code of Ordinance. I strongly urge the administration to take another look at this ordinance as I feel that it may impede much needed development or redevelopment within the city. Chapter 109 of the Texas Alcohol Beverage Code gives the city the ability to enact regulations prohibiting the sale of alcoholic beverages. specifically as is stated in the code. And I'm just gonna paraphrase part of it. The Commissioners Court of a county or the governing body of a city or town that has enacted a regulation under subsection A of this section may allow variances to the regulation if the Commissioners Court or governing body determines that the enforcement of the regulation in a particular instance is not in the best interest of the public, constitutes waste or inefficient use of land. I believe this section enables us as a city body to alter the 1,000-foot blanket cookie cutter prohibition that's really identified in our ordinance. There are private schools all over the city, and while this is only the 6th requester, and I'll just to set the record straight, I actually approved all 6 of them. There could be many more, and we might find ourselves in a bad position in limiting development and impacting the tax base in certain areas. I want to revise the ordinance as it was done in December of 2003 for the downtown area to give some flexibility to the city in creating the zone. One of the statements in the preamble of the 2003 revision stated, such areas within the central business district have evolved into mixed land use entertainment zones that may have a variety of urban neighborhood land uses situated in close proximity to each other, and also find that the strict application of the existing alcohol distance regulation in those high-density zones may prohibit the placement of alcoholic beverages that would enhance the economic development of the zone. So we took that position in 2003 relative to the application of this ordinance, particularly in the downtown area. I think we need to recognize that the application of this ordinance, particularly along commercial corridors where we have development or redevelopment, and land use, prohibiting land use, is an issue that I think we need to be able to look at. So I'm urging my colleagues to take another look at this. I think there must be a way to build some flexibility into the ordinance where we can look at creating zones on a school-by-school basis in a manner that makes the most sense in the redevelopment of the areas. Just another thought I wanted to follow up on was a comment that Councilmember Pennington said yesterday to one of the speakers from St. Stephen's has to do with the notification of property owners. And I think that's an important feature as well that we need to incorporate into the ordinance. So I'd be happy to have my staff work with the administration and also legal to incorporate some of my suggestions. So I urge the administration to take another look at ordinance in the future. Thank you.
Councilmember, completely agree. By rights, should go to Councilmember Adams' committee. She's been out this week. We haven't had a chance to talk to her, but we will bring it forward to the appropriate meeting. Councilmember Cohen.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate Councilmember Costello's comments and his support of this ordinance. Yesterday we heard from 3 people that were very much involved in the school. We know that what they did is to follow exactly what was set out in keeping with both the HISD regulations and the private school regulations. They've met all the qualifications. They've done exactly what they should do, and in fact they perhaps went a little bit further as well. They spoke to Lancaster Place and Winlow Place and other civic groups. And I think, being a supporter of business as well, I think it's worth re-examining the ordinance and looking to see what might be done. But in terms of this particular ordinance, I urge my colleagues to vote in favor of it and secure the language as it stands. Thank you.
Councilmember Lasker.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to thank both of my colleagues for both their very measured and thoughtful comments on this issue. I think we all around this table welcome those thoughtful comments, and I welcome the opportunity to look at the ordinance in the future. I'll be voting in favor of this primarily because it seems to me that the neighborhoods and schools and civic associations have so very few tools to protect their communities in this city, and this is one of them. And I know that we have effectively used those in District J, and I certainly don't ever want to advocate the opportunity to continue to protect those neighborhoods, and I'm sure all of y'all feel the same. But I look forward to having a very thoughtful discussion. I want to thank my council member for raising the issues. Thank you.
Councilmember Burke.
Thank you, Mayor. As I heard the testimony yesterday, very strong testimony, good testimony. What we need to be as a city is more flexible by the areas in which we have I'm gonna vote for this. This is a needed thing. We have to, let me digress just a little bit and then come back. Seems like everything we've done in the last 9 months I've been on this council is about feeding. But now we into the real world about education and protection of our children. Yesterday's public session was very hurtful to me because I saw pain in the eyes of citizens coming and asking us to do something about the pain that they individually experience. This has nothing to do with administration. This has something to do with what we do around this horseshoe. We have to protect our kids in the best way we can to make sure they get the adequate education they need to have and the environment that needs to be in. And I am for us being flexible with this ordinance. And I thank all my council members who spoke out today, because this is very important to our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Is there further discussion? Moving to a vote on the item. Favored? Opposed?
No.
Item carries. Councilmember Pennington voting no.